I want to talk about fire support missions and PR checks. This is when you want to hold a hex and you don't want your units to give it up. And you have to roll your PR to stay in the hex after receiving multiple hits on yourself. So we'll take this example. Let's say the German unit was attacking and they brought in massive amount of artillery barrage, and the Americans received the 3 hits. So what the Americans will do, and there's steps to this, the first thing the Americans will do is take a step loss. So they automatically take their step loss. Now they have 2 hits to resolve from the 3. They now say they want to hold that position, and they have to roll their PR. Now the 101 has great PR. They have a 9 value. That means they have to roll an 8 or less. So most chances are they're going to be able to be successful, and if they are successful, the remaining 2 can be taken as either another step loss or a fatigue. It's up to the player themselves how they want to do it. So let's say they say we'll take another step loss. By the way, mandatory step loss is not in place anymore. Mandatory step loss is that each unit can only take 1 step loss in combat. This goes out the window, meaning that a unit can take as many now once you make this decision. So going back to that thing, we had 2 left. He takes 1 more. We have 1 more left, and we'll take it as a fatigue. So that's how you can satisfy that type of situation. The other way is, oh, by the way, if they failed, that's right. This is what I want to speak about. The other way is, let's say this happened and they made a roll, but they failed. So again, they have 2 hits left. They would have to retreat. Maximum retreat distance is 1 hex that you can always do. That 1 hex that they retreated usually will satisfy one of your hits. However, since you rolled and failed, it does not satisfy your hits, and so they still have 2 left. So they have to satisfy those 2. So they might have to do a step loss and a fatigue, or 2 step loss they can do, or 2 fatigue. It's whichever way the person chooses to handle it, but they're going to have to take it. But the penalty really is you don't get to satisfy the retreat as you would before. So let's go back to this scenario again. We got 3 hits, and instead of taking a step loss, we decided to retreat. We said we're going to retreat and satisfy 1 of those 3. Now they have 2 hits left. Of those 2 hits, the way it works in this system, you divide the remaining hits in half by 2. So they will have 1 more left to satisfy. That 1 now can be taken as a step loss, or it can be taken as a fatigue. It's up to the player again, how they want to handle it. So I hope this kind of helps of how trying to stay in a hex and so on and so forth. And so like here it tells you basically step 1 for hits as a retreat, and it kind of breaks it down for you. And it tells you what you have to do. So if you want to take it as a step loss, proceed to step 2. And so then it tells you here for step 2, the owning player must make a PR check to allow the target to remain. In this case, the PR of the lowest rated affected unit is used to make the check on the whole stack. If the target unit passes the PR check, proceed to step 3. Very easy, very clear. For each unresolved remaining hit in the barrage, player must inflict either 1 step loss or 1 level of fatigued. Maximum step loss rules do not apply. Goes back here, if the target unit failed the PR check, proceed to step 4. And this is where it tells you, unlike voluntary retreat, this 1 hex retreat does not satisfy any of the unresolved hits. The remaining still is at the end of step 2. And then it just tells you if you can't retreat, basically you take these things as automatic step losses and increase your fatigue level by 1. So again, going back, you want to stay in this hex. The first one, you'll take it, you'll do a step loss. Then you say, I'm going to stay in. You roll, if you're the defender, you roll your PR value of the defense side. If you were attacking, you roll the attacking PR side. So it depends on what side you are. This doesn't matter because they're both 9s, but let's say this German unit, their attacking is a 5, defending is a 6. So it matters, like for this unit here. I hope that was helpful, guys. I know there's a lot of confusion on this part of the steps you need to take and how they play out and so on and so forth. But that's about it.